If you guys feel like you have been doing everything to try and manifest your specific person, and you've been doing all the affirming all day, every day for a while, but there's either no movement or they're just not conforming in the way that you want them to, then keep watching this video because I'm going to be sharing with you what to do if this is happening. But first, my name's Hannah Love. I'm your favorite manifestation coach and content creator. I make manifesting simple because it is simple, and I'm here to help you get what you want in life because that's why you came to this planet, to get what you want. I offer various coaching services. I now have an Etsy shop where I sell manifestation, high vibrational digital art that you can print yourself at home. And I also have affirmation audio bundles to program your mind so you can speed up your manifestation process. If you want more information about those, it's either the link in my bio or in the caption below, depending on where you're watching this, because I post daily on TikTok and YouTube. So anyways, somebody recently asked me, and I've been getting comments that are very similar to this one, so I'm just going to read it. My problem is them, my SP, showing up or even movement in the 3D. Maybe a text. I affirm literally 24/7, not just about my ex, but my self-concept, and changing how I view him and everything for 4 months now. She's basically saying they're not showing up and there's been no movement. So the first thing that I want to say is that there is always movement happening. No matter how long your manifestation takes to come to fruition, it's already happening. Okay, and just because you're not seeing certain things happening before your eyes doesn't mean things aren't happening in the background. It's kind of like, you know how before a movie comes out, you see the trailer for the movie, but you don't necessarily see them making the actual movie. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if they actually started making the movie 2 years ago and it's already finished and they're now coming out with a trailer. You probably would have never known that because things are happening behind the scenes and they are not always being shown to us. This is why with Law of Assumption, and even Neville Goddard has said time and time again to continue to move with blind faith. Okay, it even says this in the Bible as well. I really just think the Bible is a book on how to manifest, to be honest. So the more that you can practice showing up, continuing to show up as the version who is living in the end, who has what you want, the sooner that this is going to speed up the process. Now, if you feel like there is no movement going on, what I want you to tell yourself is there's always movement happening, whether I see it or not. You can even start affirming to yourself, there is always movement happening, and it's constantly being proven to me on a 24/7 basis. Because the more that you tell yourself there isn't movement, you're not going to see movement because what you focus on grows. Okay, and so another thing is there could be something within your self-concept, your beliefs about relationships that is keeping you from being able to manifest this specific person. Or it could be your belief systems about this one person that is keeping you from being able to speed up the process. So, what I mean by that is maybe you have a belief that you always get any man that you could ever imagine. But for some reason, manifesting this one person is really freaking hard. Or maybe you have a belief that manifesting a specific person is impossible, or it feels wrong, or it doesn't feel right. So there's resistance there. So what you could do is literally tell yourself manifesting is really easy. Literally, no one has free will in my reality except me because people are just reflections of what I assume about them. And I assume that my specific person wants to be with me. Duh. I'm all they think about 24/7. Dream of marrying me. They dream of doing X, Y, and Z with me because they love me so much. Ask yourself, what belief systems or assumptions do I have potentially about my specific person that may be creating resistance? And then flip that belief by creating a new affirmation that's in opposition of the negative one, right? My SP is really easy for me to manifest because anyone and everyone is easy for me to manifest because every person that I've ever wanted has always wanted commitment with me. Which brings me into point number 2, is that if you have beliefs around relationships, let's say you have a belief that you can always get the guy, but you can't keep him, right? That could be a belief that is creating resistance, right? From you being able to be reunited with your SP. You could have a belief that maybe good things never last. So there could be a subconscious fear that, oh my gosh, what if I end up manifesting this relationship and it doesn't last again? And then we're back to square one and it's just an emotional roller coaster. So your subconscious is keeping you from manifesting that because it is scared that you are going to get hurt. Because the subconscious was created to protect us, right? And sometimes it thinks it's protecting us from things that it actually doesn't need to protect us from. That's why you need to sometimes ask yourself these deeper questions so you can get to the root of it and then create this new affirmation. And you can also ask yourself to just get right to it. If I were to be in this perfect, loving, committed relationship with my SP, what would be my biggest fear about having that? And then once you understand what the fear is, because that's the dominant assumption that you're running on that's keeping you from manifesting your SP, then all you have to do is take that fear and reverse engineer it, create an affirmation that would basically heal or replace that fear. You know what I mean? So let's say that you have a fear that if you end up with your SP, they may leave you, they may abandon you. So something that you could affirm to yourself is, I've always experienced consistent love and commitment in all of my relationships. Every person that I've ever wanted to be with has wanted to be with me in a permanent relationship and has always been there for me, no matter what. Or just creating an affirmation that works best for you. There's really no right or wrong affirmation. And then I would start instilling these new affirmations into your robotic affirming sessions. And on top of just doing affirmations, if you are doing all the affirming and you feel like you have asked yourself those deeper questions, then I would be doing a nervous system regulation. Because if you're doing all these affirmations, but you're constantly feeling anxious or on edge, or you're checking the 3D, or you're like, where is it? What's happening? What's going on? You're still in fight or flight mode. So you need to train your nervous system to be in a calm, grounded state. Because if you're not in a calm and grounded state, you're most likely still creating from your past. You're still being the old self who thinks that they don't have what they want, who is thinking like, oh, I never get what I want, or it's just taking so long, right? So usually if your feeling state is anxious and afraid and fearful or doubtful, that's because of your belief systems or your underlying assumptions. So you want to do nervous system regulation. And that could be breath work. It could be meditation. I personally love meditation. I like breath work for like if I'm in the car and I get triggered or I'm anxious, or I'm someplace in public where if I'm triggered, I can't necessarily sit down and meditate, but I can do deep breathing exercises, right? In through the nose and out through the mouth. Go on a little walk. I have multiple meditations that you guys can take a look at that I think would be really supportive for you. I have one for having the perfect self-concept, and I have one for manifesting your desires. So what this is going to do is help you not only put yourself back on the pedestal and realize you're the operant power. There's nothing to worry about. Like, you're good. You're creating everything that you could ever want and imagine. You're already in the wish fulfilled. And then I have the one for manifesting your desires to really help you get into that state of being and living in the wish fulfilled. And they're literally only like 7 to 10 minutes. They're not very long. So pairing that, your affirmations, with your nervous system regulation and being able to visualize this new reality is only going to 10x the process for you, because you're using all of your different senses to work together to live in the wish fulfilled rather than just affirming. Because while I do believe in robotic affirming, sometimes people need extra help or extra support, especially if your nervous system is all over the place, especially if you're not used to seeing this new reality. You need to train your brain to start seeing a new reality for yourself, because you're still stuck in the old reality, right? So you need a little bit of extra oomph to spice up your daily manifestation practices. You feel me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know in the comments below.